What's going on, everyone? Jeremy here from the quartering. I hope you're having a good day. I hope that this video won't make it worse. And I hope that today will be the day to earn your subscription. There's a red subscribe button down below. I know it doesn't seem like a big deal to you, but I'm hoping that today will be the day to earn your subscription. Just makes finding my videos easier and lets YouTube know that maybe once in a while they could consider possibly recommending my channel. Now, Kevin Smith has done a lot of damage to fandoms over the years, but none as widely publicized as what he had done to He-Man in Masters of the Universe Revelation. What's interesting to me is that we have no timeline for the second half of this season. You would think by now Netflix would have announced something about part 2. I mean, it's filmed, it's done. I don't know. Like, I don't think I'm not sure that the intention was for it to be like a season 1, season 2. If that is the case, then we only got a handful of episodes and then we have to wait a whole nother year for the next handful. I'm not sure that that was Netflix's plan. I wonder if they're considering rewrites or if they're, letting the bad press die down. I'm not actually sure. But in the meantime, plenty of other rumors are spinning up and a wide variety of reliabilities. This particular rumor is getting picked up by a couple of websites, but coming from a questionable source. There's no doubt in my mind that Kevin Smith would love for this to be true, but there's a new rumor that Kevin Smith is to direct episodes for the Leslie Headland's Star Wars show. Now, Kevin Smith has made no secret about his uber fandom, his love for Star Wars. And who knows? Maybe he would actually do a good job. I don't know. It seems unlikely, given that he lives in this alternate universe where he is a super huge mega fan of things, but then he seems to cuck out and just to keep that work coming in. It's like if he truly understood He-Man like he claimed to, even though he was lying, he never would have made Revelation. What He-Man Revelation was really just a cookie cutter woke reimagining of a classic show. In fact, Kevin Smith isn't the first to do it or the last to do it. But with Star Wars, I think we'd have the same thing. He may know what the fans actually want, but when it comes down to it, the man wants to get work, and so he's not going, and he doesn't have the clout to push back and say, do something in his own way. There's a recent rumor, according to Mike Zero, who, if we're being honest, has a 50-50 track record when it comes to reporting, has reported that Kevin Smith, writer-director of films such as Jay and Silent Bob and television series Master of the Universe, was apparently offered to direct episodes of Leslie Headland's upcoming Disney Plus Star Wars series, The Acolyte. Currently, Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni seem to be taking over at Lucasfilm, while Kathleen Kennedy seems to be slowly being phased out or moved to another position. However, she apparently still has creative control over the current untitled Indiana Jones 5, which will be an unmitigated disaster as well, and the Leslie Headland Star Wars series slated for Disney Plus. Kathleen Kennedy is said to not only have reached out to Rian Johnson, the writer and director of 2017's The Last Jedi, to direct a few episodes, but also Kevin Smith. I don't understand this. It's not new, but it is something that seems to be going on with Disney. Is this guest directing? They did it a lot in The Mandalorian. They've probably done it before, and I just never really was reporting on it or noticed it. And it's an interesting thing, to be honest with you. Apparently, I think it can be good. Like, as much as I don't care for Taika Waititi, I do enjoy his work. I think Jojo Rabbit was really good. I think his work on What We Do in the Shadows is really good. It can be a little too comical in the MCU, but, his episodes of The Mandalorian I thought were pretty good. He's got a unique style and it can work out, but it can also kind of break immersion and make a show not feel, continuous. Apparently, Kathleen Kennedy has been in talks with Kevin Smith for some time to do Star Wars-related project, beginning when Kevin Smith visited the set of Star Wars: Rise of Skywalker while they were filming. I'm sure posted a picture, a selfie of himself crying. Kevin Smith is known to be a fan of the Disney era of Star Wars, so it would not be surprising for Kennedy to hire someone who fits her criteria. It's also said that Kevin Smith will be working with Leslie herself on writing story elements for the series, specifically revolving around the main character. This is super suspect to me, though, because, Kevin Smith seems like he would absolutely be talking about this if he was actually had this job. The rumor does have people concerned due to the recent fallout around Masters of the Universe series that Kevin Smith was in charge of. Many fans are even comparing his treatment of the franchise to the characters Rian Johnson's Star Wars: The Last Jedi. Why? I mean, why not? It's an excellent combination, or it's an excellent comparison. Both were utterly disgraceful and widely panned by large portions of the audience. Now, I think the one main difference, though, is I think with The Last Jedi, there still were a lot of fans of it. I think it would be disingenuous to pretend like everyone hated that film. With Masters of the Universe, I didn't see that kind of vocal pushback that you saw with The Last Jedi. I think that Masters of the Universe was in many ways a mini The Last Jedi, but it didn't sustain because it didn't have the fervent fans that The Last Jedi did. Most people just genuinely hated Masters of the Universe Revelations, and there were a few culture warriors in there who wanted to say like, oh, it's stunning and brave, but they weren't really fans of He-Man in the first place, so they lost interest quickly. Now, many fans, The Last Jedi, but if any of this is indeed true, the damage may possibly be not as bad as some think due to the upcoming Headland show being seen as somewhat of a joke in the fandom. Editor's note, of course. What's more interesting to me is both that Leslie Headland and Kevin Smith were tied to old Mr. Harvey. It's possible that they knew each other. Disney and Bob Iger were trying to distance themselves from Harvey and were named in the suit. It's also been implied that Kennedy's hiring of Headland and subsequent surprise announcement caused a lot of trouble in the House of the Mouse. Now, Leslie Headland was, of course, the dude's personal assistant. Of course, she knew about everything going on. This is, an interesting story to follow, as we saw, Kevin Smith, again, has basically not said a single thing about He-Man in now, I don't know, 3-4 weeks. He's completely abandoned it. August 13th, August 11th. Here's August 11th, nothing. He's talking about Clerks. He's talking about Clerks. August 10th, still talking about Clerks, 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 more Clerks. July 27th, finally, he's talking about something that isn't Clerks, but he's just talking about Batman and Clerks. All the way back to July 26th is the last time he said a single thing about Masters of the Universe. Almost a month ago. I feel like if it were me and I were truly proud of the project that I made, I would still be talking about it a month later, especially in a place like Twitter where it's so easy to just promote your project. I feel like I really believe that Netflix told Kevin to shut up about it. I really believe that. And maybe it's entirely possible that I'm just completely wrong about this. But I feel like if I'm Netflix, I want my biggest voice. And quite honestly, you've got really Kevin Smith and Mark Hamill attached to the project. They've got big voices, and neither one of them have said diddly squat about it in weeks. I think that they're probably trying to distance themselves from it. Clerks 3 is a movie nobody wanted. I have zero interest in it, even though I do still love that feeling of, going back in the day. Clerks, I remember when it came out, you felt cool for liking that movie. Looking back, maybe it wasn't really that great. Mallrats, you just felt cool because you're like, yeah, this is in black and white. And honestly, looking back, you had big actors, Ben Affleck in there, Matt Damon in there, at kind of when they were nobodies in Hollywood. So that's always fun to see nowadays looking back. But if he moves to the Star Wars universe, I wouldn't be the least surprised. I'll be interested to see what your comments are on this. Do you think there's any truth to this rumor? I welcome him. The more garbage Star Wars programming there is, the more stuff we can make fun of. I still, wish we could be talking about how great stuff is. And there are some good programs in the Star Wars universe. I still think The Mandalorian is a bright spot, even if how they, treated Gina Carano, will bring people to not want to watch the show. At least for one season, it was a bright spot. And I hope that the show continues to be good, because I know a lot of my viewers love Star Wars and they want good programming. And while I think it's fun to dunk on stuff, it's also fun to get good stuff. I hope you enjoyed this video. We'll talk to you again real soon.